even though the Niners and the Chiefs ended up in the Super Bowl, it was a little bit of a surprise. I mean, the Chiefs only averaged 22 points a game this year. They scuffed it offensively, middle of the pack. Baltimore, I thought, was much better all year long. Miami, Buffalo, a couple of the very dangerous teams. San Francisco, I didn't really see Brock Purdy hoisting a trophy. Philadelphia started on fire. I bought into the Cowboys hype for a few weeks. But in the NBA, Denver's going to win, barring an injury, back-to-back titles. Jokić yesterday, 32 points, 16 rebounds, and get this, 16 assists. That would have been a great night for Magic Johnson. The Warriors had been red hot, got a couple of young players playing well, their rotation working fine. They were at home. They got off to a great start and lost to this Denver team for the 9th time in 10 tries. They can't solve them. They don't match up with them. And the Warriors 2022 won the championship. But Jokić is different. This Denver team, they're the Spurs with Tim Duncan. Perfectly built roster. Get ready for a dynasty. It's not going to be Shaq-Kobe dynasty. It's not going to have the drama of the Michael Jordan dynasty or the Heedle dynasty. And we've had some fun ones. But Jokić is the best player in the league without question. Jokić and Murray are the best combo. They have the best starting five, plus minus. Only Boston is close. And Aaron Gordon's length defensively and Michael Porter can be streaky, but he's gifted offensively. Add in a very well-coached team with just enough depth. They're winning the title. And unless barring an injury, Celtics are the only starting five that's even close. And this Denver team is actually built for the postseason more than the regular season. Why? Because in the postseason, you shrink your rotation. So it'll be perfect. You'll get about 3 guys off the bench. Christian Brown's one of the guys will come off the bench. Reggie Jackson will give you a few points off the bench. But we talk so much about mobility, and I'm guilty of this. I spend so much time in the NBA talking about a collection of all-stars and mobility, and this team has one all-star in 10 years. It's Jokić. Jamal Murray in the crowded West with all those great guards never made an all-star team. They're high IQ, huge, just enough depth, can be great defensively in spots with a bunch of shooters. And again, they're really built for the playoffs. Right now, they're a number 3 seed. I wouldn't take anything from that. When the Bucks won a title, they were a 3 seed. The Warriors have won a title as a 3 seed. The Spurs during Duncan's era weren't always a number 1 seed. And they actually, right now, Denver's got a higher winning percentage than they had last year. So this team is stocked. They are perfectly constructed. Just 2 or 3 guys off the bench. Once you get to the playoffs, it's an 8-man rotation. You're not playing the 9th and the 10th guy. And I think the West is better than the East. I don't buy Milwaukee right now. Knicks need another star. They didn't get one at the trade deadline. It's a limited team offensively. You saw it again this weekend against Boston. They just have limitations. Boston can make things a little uncomfortable, but the Lakers, they don't have a Jokić. They don't have the shooting. Phoenix, I'm not sure they could figure out how to stop Jokić either. Golden State just doesn't match up with them. This team is really special. And again, don't be fooled by the number 3 seed. It's Tim Duncan's Spurs. That doesn't necessarily, unlike the NFL where the Chiefs are great for ratings, Taylor Swift, Mahomes, Andy Reid, very clever, Midwest. I don't think this is much of a ratings grab, though I enjoyed watching them, watched the entire game yesterday. But get ready for a dynasty, because that's what it looks like. It's not about egos. It's not about all-stars, size in the right spaces, little off the bench, multiple shooters, well-coached, no ego. And I like watching Denver. I know a lot of people don't think aesthetically they're much to watch. It's a little old-school basketball. I'm not somebody that believes the old teams would beat the new teams. I don't think older players were better than the new players. I don't think the league's ever had more talent. But they got a little old school, and I love watching them. And this is what a dynasty looks like. I was thinking this morning, how would the Heatles have matched up with this team? Who would have stopped Jokić? They didn't have a center. They had no size. They weren't great at point. I mean, they just do. And Golden State right now is playing great. They match up with everybody except the Nuggets. Speaking of Denver, Russell Wilson, a little birdie, told Chad Johnson. He said this on his pod. A little birdie told him Russell Wilson is going to the Steelers. So first of all, the Steelers have an excellent roster. and they're bad at quarterback. And in the AFC, you got to do better than Kenny Pickett at quarterback. So this is actually a good fit. Now, I said before I went in vacay, I said I thought Justin Fields at quarterback was a bad fit in Pittsburgh. Why? He's not a refined quarterback. He's not efficient. Russell Wilson is refined. He wins. He's efficient. He's accurate. He is a defined player. We know what he is. He's not in his prime, but he's not that far past it. The Steelers, frankly, on offense could use his commitment, could use his maturity, could use his experience, and could use his accuracy. Now, as an offensive coach, Sean Payton, I can get Russell kind of frustrating you. But with a defensive coach, Mike Tomlin, Russell doesn't turn the ball over that much. He can play within a system and do some ad-libbing also. When Russell went to Denver, he was viewed as a savior. That's not what he is here. Pittsburgh's winning with Kenny Pickett. They don't need a savior. But because of how many players they traded to get Russell and because of his contract, he was this sort of messiah, this savior, and he was a culture builder. Like they built the whole culture around him. That's not what he was in Seattle, and he got the 2 Super Bowls, and that's not what he would be in Pittsburgh. He's not going to be a savior. They have the longest tenured coach in the NFL with Mike Tomlin. And one of the things, and I've been critical of Tomlin at times, one of the things I think he does pretty well, he builds a culture. He's an alpha. He's like Mike Vrabel. There's a toughness to the Steelers. But what they aren't offensively is like dependable and efficient and consistently accurate. And they don't get the ball to their stars. I never worry about that with Russell Wilson. Again, with Sean Payton, everything in this world's about fit. I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday outside of sports, about in life. It's just about where you're happy, what generates interest, where are you motivated, who is your boss. Fit outside of a couple of guys like Mahomes or a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, who would probably work anywhere. Go look at Tua. He got the right coach. From Flores, he was a bust, to Mike McDaniel, he's getting MVP chatter and Pro Bowl votes. I don't think Russell and Sean Payton was ever built to be great. Their personalities don't work. One guy is harsh and intense, Sean. One guy's optimistic, almost to a point of nausea at times. Overly optimistic. Let's ride. That can wear people out, some teammates out. Be that as it may, Pittsburgh's got talent. They are loaded on both sides, but what they don't have is dependability, maturity, experience, efficiency, accuracy. That is exactly what Russell Wilson provides. Arthur Smith is the new offensive coordinator. He's not going to ask Russell to throw it 45 times. That's not what he's going to do. He had Ryan Tannehill when he was at OC in Tennessee. They were a run team first, play action pass with a quarterback in Tannehill that could move and was experienced. So this one feels like it works. You can't listen. If you're going to go up against Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar and Burrow, stop convincing yourself Kenny Pickett's the guy. You got to have a playmaker back there. So I like it. So I think the Steelers works. It feels like it works. Again, Justin Fields is not a defined or refined player yet. He's still growing. I think he's better served getting an offensive coach somewhere. Somebody's got to figure him out. He had a defensive coach in Chicago. He's plateaued. His passing numbers actually went down, plateaued. They're flat. Running numbers went down slightly. He's plateaued. He needs an offensive coach and an offensive culture. Russell Wilson got to 2 Super Bowls in the defensive culture. He struggled immediately with an offensive coach. Okay, back to a defensive coach in Mike Tomlin, and I've been saying this now for 2 years. The Steelers are like the East Coast version of the Packers. Always have talent, draft and develop as well as anybody in this league. Last year's draft for the Steelers, once again, it was another good one. For the Packers, for the Steelers, it's what those organizations do. So Russell's going to have talent. That's indisputable. They have 2 receivers I like. In fact, one of them, the kid from Georgia, is unbelievable. They finally threw the ball to him at the end of the season. That's why the 3rd-string quarterback supplanted Kenny Pickett. He got the right guy the ball. They have 2 running backs, Warren Najee Harris. They have a tight end I like from Penn State. The offensive line last year was better. So Arthur Smith is a more than capable offensive coordinator. This is a really good fit. I know. Roll your eyes. Thought a lot about it. I think it works.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.